Hello and welcome to the Webseries Digest. This is episode 2, pre-production. I'm Sara.
I'm Jennifer Catania, and I created Notes by Christine, but I've also participated in Tajwash, the Blair Goddess Project, the Uncutting Upshurs, and I think that's it.
I'm Daisy Johnston. I'm the creator and actor in School Spirit, an Unlikely web series, which is based on Blythe Spirit, and I'm currently writing / in pre-production for some sort of Boxcar Children series for the summer.
Cool. I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, it's sort of I couldn't get a job, so this is what I'm doing instead.
Cool. All right. So, well, that's good because today we're going to talk about pre-production. So yeah, pre-production. Probably. Well, let me start off by saying straight up. Let me start by saying, like, straight up, a gigantic part of pre-production for any project is writing, and we have a whole entire episode that is episode 3 in this podcast that is devoted just to writing. So nothing in this episode is really going to apply to writing. We might talk about it a little bit, but there's going to be a big episode just dedicated to writing your web series. So that is not the focus of this one. But that being said, we should talk a little bit about outlining, I think, which kind of also ties into scheduling.
Yay, that's my favorite part.
Scheduling is everyone's favorite part.
I'm actually kind of serious, though. I love scheduling.
I know. Jennifer, I put you on this episode because a lovely person named Nicole said Jennifer Catania is the pre-production queen. And I was like, cool, that's the person I want on my pre-production episode.
Yay!
So, well, then let's actually start with that. Let's, Jen, talk about your favorite part of pre-production and why it's your favorite.
So my favorite part of pre-production actually is scheduling. That is not a lie. I'm just super weird like that. But I really like having to work with everyone's, super complicated schedules and their actual outside lives. Okay, we have, 1 week in the film. We have, 8 scenes. We have 3 hours on one day, 4 hours on another day. All right, we got this. It's just, playing Tetris with people's lives. It's great.
I think you should market that skill to all the web series people. I know many, many people who would take you up on scheduling for them. Daisy, what's your favorite part of pre-production?
I just like outlining, really. It might just be my experience because I worked with a play, but I like having distinct chunks, which I can then split up into more chunks until they get into little, just tiny episodes. And yeah, scheduling is the worst. We ended up filming our entire second season in a weekend. It was so much fun. And by fun, I mean it was so much work.
Yes.
But that's college for you.
Yeah. There's an entire episode on filming that is much later in this show. But so I just want to state for the record in this pre-production episode, filming is a lot of work.
Yep.
Man. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, you guys do. Whoever doesn't know how to make a web series, you have no idea.
I mean, that's why they're listening to this, hopefully, so they can learn how to make a web series. But yeah, we talk a lot about filming, and even in the first episode, we talk a little bit about kind of if web series is your first film project, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So just kind of talking about outlining, which I think we'll cover a little bit more in writing, kind of how you should be outlining, breaking down the web series. But so I want to focus more on kind of outlining in the way that you're going to use it to schedule. So if you already have your outline, that's basically here's the episodes that we're filming, here's what happens in each of these episodes, here's the sets and the actors and the props that we're going to need. You need to have an outline that breaks down each episode, what's in that episode, everything you need for that episode.
Yep.
Even for a vlog style.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course.
And then once you have that breakdown, you can make your schedule. Because once you have that breakdown and you have the days like, here are the days that we need to use this set, or here's the day when we need to use these actors. And then that way you can stack, you could stack all the days that you need that actor together. Like, for example, when filming Tajwash, we had our Lestrade, Adrian, was very, very busy. She was doing a lot of things. So we would stack all of the Lestrade scenes in one filming day. And we just filmed all of them at once. Got them done. So, but yeah, a lot of people don't like scheduling. Jen is a special case, and I'll say it's because you have to work with everyone's schedules. And
yeah. I think it's interesting because I didn't know that, Daisy, that you did your entire second season in a weekend.
Yeah.
That's insane. But when I filmed Notes by Christine, it was like 8 weekends over the course of like 8 months. So we'd film 1 weekend a month, and we were filming chronologically. So we had to outline it so that we knew, okay, this is when this is happening. We have to go in order so the episodes actually come out on time. But like, getting people to commit to 8 weekends is a lot of time for a college student, is what I learned.
Yeah,
you just gotta make sure
it was just, the issue was that we weren't sure if we're going to be able to get it all out weekend wise, because my one thing was I can't film on weekdays because people have, schoolwork and stuff to do. So I tried to limit my filming to Saturdays, and we did that mostly in the fall. That was fine. We did, I think, about 4 weekends of filming. And then in the spring, by the time that everybody was settled in their classes, I said, okay, we need to start. Between women's college things, like our ring ceremony, and we had a spring fling, whatever, and then the seniors, and then not to mention that 2 of my cast members were directing one-act plays because theater majors, and then all of a sudden I was acting in one of those plays. So I ended up cutting 2 characters from the cast completely, and B, I basically sent out a very hurried email saying, okay, look, here's what's going to happen. We're going to film the whole thing in a weekend. And everybody was surprisingly chill with it. And we got it all done. And I did not think we were going to be able to get it all done. And so I was planning on doing another session. So I had so much faith.
Yeah, side note, always have backup days.
Yes.
Always have extra possible filming days. Don't be the movie Jaws, which is my favorite movie, but they planned for 53 days of filming. They went to 153 days of filming. Don't be Jaws.
Don't be Jaws. Sara says, don't be Jaws.
I love that movie. Like, that's my favorite movie.
Starring your boyfriend.
Time. Yes, my boyfriend, Bruce the Shark. We go on, I see him whenever I'm at work at Universal, and I'm just like, hey, babe. It's good to see you.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, everything. The reason why I sent out, the thing was, by the time that we finished filming, I was like, holy crap, we're done. I planned backwards. I found the day that I wanted my show to end, and I plotted out the episodes when I wanted them to release, because now we actually had them to release. And I was like, oh no, I have to start posting episodes in 2 days. That was probably not the best scheduling thing. No,
we did the same thing too. Yeah. Well, first episode for Notes by Christine, we were editing the night before. We're like, oh god, we're not gonna get it done. It's not gonna go up, but it was okay.
I would like to stress to the baby web series creators who are listening to this: film everything beforehand, edit everything beforehand, have it completely done before you start airing. Yes. Don't be us.
Don't literally, or at least have a point where you have time to make up more. Mm-hmm. Like, I took a 3-month hiatus and filmed all that between the 2. Also, Google Suite is your friend. I cannot stress this enough. For
Yes.
For School Spirit, I probably
100%.
had 5 Google Sheets, and 3 Google Calendars of, okay, here's when we're going to film, here's when we're going to release, and here's a, like, basically just a production calendar of what stuff I need to do and when. And then,
Shannon had, sorry to interrupt you, Daisy, but for Tajwa, Shannon had, like, a master schedule that had all of the filming days, everyone's availability, and then what was happening in the show. Because Tajwa, and sometimes happened, like, especially the second season of Tajwa is weird because we have stuff happening in real time and stuff not happening in real time. So she had, like, what episodes were updating when, but then being uploaded when, but then she also had, like, the chronological what's happening in the show in real time, all in this, like, one big master list. So I would highly recommend that. But she just had a Word document, but it might be more helpful for other people to have it, like, in an actual calendar. It might be easier for some people to have that all separated, like, have one big master and then have it then broken down. But I would definitely recommend just a gigantic master of filming days, people's availability, what's happening in the show, when you're uploading, all that stuff. Though I would, again, highly, highly recommend to not be filming and uploading at the same time, to have everything done before you start uploading, because it's so much less stressful. Because even Tajwash season 2, where we had stuff like filmed and edited long before they were uploaded, it was still so much less stressful to turn around and do Hamlet, where everything was, like, almost completely, I think everything was completely filmed, edited, done before uploading.
Oh, sweet luxury.
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be way easier, but at the same time, it is possible to do it, like, as you're going, because that's the way I did it.
Yes,
and it's
definitely.
It's you have to monitor it really carefully and make sure that everyone's still on the same page as you, so that, like, actors don't drop out halfway through the series because they're like, oh, never mind. So that's where filming all of it at once comes in handy. But it's definitely possible. You just have to make sure everyone's as committed to the project as you are, and don't mind getting, like, 800 texts every day.
Yeah, no, you can do it. It's going to be a lot more stressful, and then you have to really, like, give yourself a lot of leeway, because I think when people are filming and uploading together, it's not always a super tight schedule, but they don't give themselves enough, like, time for stuff to go wrong. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. You don't give them enough wiggle room.
Yeah. It's like you're filming this episode, and then in 2 weeks it's got to be up. And it ends up being that, like, enough mistakes end up happening, or, like, people end up not being available, that, oh, now I'm filming an episode that needs to go up tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's just stressful, and then you're rushed, and then it's not as good as it could be. I mean, Jaws is an incredible, beautiful movie. But it could have been better if they had budgeted their time wisely.
I think this episode
They'd
should just be
realized
called
the
Sarah's
ocean
Love
would
of
have been
Jaws.
really fucking difficult to film on. You know what? Every episode is about my love of something.
So, one thing that really helped me was a production checklist that I made in Celtx, which is my scriptwriting software that I use, that is free to download, and it's pretty nice. And basically, it allowed me to have a spreadsheet that said, here's the name of the episode, here's the length of the episode in pages, here's the estimated length of the episode in minutes, and then it gave me every character who's in that episode. So from there, I was able to just copy and paste that into Google Sheets, and I pasted in, like, another column saying, is this been filmed yet? Has this been edited yet? What props do you need? You know, what sets do you need? And from there I could fill in all of my master notes for filming. It was really helpful.
No, Celtx is awesome. It has, like, all these features that people don't know about. Like, you can storyboard on that thing, which is weird. but it's possible. But I know this isn't the writing episode. There's also this website called WriterDuet. It's super helpful if you're doing a series where you're collaborating with other people, because multiple writers can do it at the same time. I worked on that on a short with a couple people using that software, and it was interesting, like, seeing people type in real time, like, oh, okay, this is where we're going with this. But because on Notes by Christine we had like 6 or 7 writers, I think. And I wish I had known about it in hindsight, so when they're writing, I could have just, like, sat in, like, okay, yes. Or, no, not the direction we need the series to go in right now. But there's so many different, like, programs that, like, everyone should utilize, like, definitely Celtx, definitely WriterDuet, and anything Google, just all of it's perfect.
It's just so much better now.
Yes.
Oh, God bless technology. But yeah, so that Google Sheet, literally 2 weeks ago when I was posting the last episode, I still had that Google Sheet on hand when I was, wait, what episode number is this again? Or, wait, how long is it supposed to be? It's helped me from mid-September all the way up to mid-May. Mm-hmm. It was the best.
Nice. So, what we learned from this is, have all your documents, have it all laid out.
You can't have too much organization.
Yeah, if you take anything away from this podcast, just organize everything in your entire life. It'll help you so much.
I don't care if you have to organize, how much water you need to drink on a particular episode or, how many cuts you did or whatever. Just put it in the spreadsheet.
All right. So moving on from that, and spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets.
Are so nice.
Spreadsheets.
So let's talk a little bit about kind of things you're going to need to obtain. On another episode, a previous episode, we've talked a little bit about kind of being a one-person show and kind of how small of a crew that you're going to have, yada, yada. We've talked about that.
You can't see this, but I'm looking into the camera like I'm The Office.
But kind of to reiterate that, you probably will, when making a web series, you're probably only going to have a crew of 3 people. I'm thinking up from Tajwash. It was me, Shannon, Cassie, and or Christy, and then whoever was, and then we usually like rope the actors into holding the mic or something. Like, your crew's gonna be really, really small. But I want to say, and you need to have someone on your crew that knows what they're doing.
That's always a plus. Yeah, I was just going to say that your crew size really depends on what scale your show is. Like, for my show, we had, like, sometimes it was just the 3 of us, like, counting me doing things as I was also acting, like the director and a person doing, like, lights. But then I think at the most I've had, like, 6 people helping out on set. Just because, like, sometimes there, like, are bigger scenes where you need people to do stuff. Like, the party scene I did for Notes by Christine, I need people to do lights, I need people to decorate. I don't remember what we did for sound, actually. I'm sure someone did that. And then just, if you're not a one-person show, it's helpful to coordinate with everyone. But just in terms of crew, like, yeah, what you're saying, having someone who knows what they're doing, but at least one person who has a general idea of things so they're flexible, I think is super important. Not necessarily that they're an expert in everything, but they can, like, jump into wherever you need them.
Yeah, basically what I'm just trying to say is you should not have a crew of total newbies, because you're going to end up with not getting as good of, like you need to have someone on your crew that, like, bare minimum knows how to use a camera. You need to have someone who knows, like, the difference between good audio and bad audio. If you have lights, you need to have someone that knows like where shadows are going to appear. That's basically what I'm trying to say, is that if you're the equipment, you basically need people to know how to use the equipment you have, basically. Generally, for students, I'd say it's probably not hard to find those people and just be like, you can use this for a reel and I'll feed you and it'll be fine. It'll be great. I'm talking like you don't have any friends or anything to help you out with this.
Yeah, I just want to say, yeah, that works at FSU. Does not work when the entire theater department is in your show.
That's true.
And you don't have a film department. Basically, I'm sitting here in silence because I was all of those people. I went to our technology thing. I was just like, look, I'm going to need a camera and a tripod from now every Saturday until I say it's different. So every Friday I would show up and say, okay, I need a camera and I need a tripod. And I'm like, do you need a microphone? I'm like, that sounds like something I need. So I got a microphone, and honestly, because we were in such a small room, because it was just in dorms, the audio with the boom, it was just so sensitive, it picked up everything else in the room. So I ended up just using the camera mic.
Oh, wow.
And then, but it was a really, really fancy camera, so I had a really nice mic. So I just picked up the camera, I would set up the shot, set up my lights. In the second season, I actually got my soft boxes, but I've been raised, my mom is a photographer, so that's the thing I actually had the most knowledge in, was filling shadows and hitting a plane.
That's
and
super
stuff
interesting.
Like that.
That's like usually what
and
people
then
know the least
for
about in my experience.
Yeah, that was, I didn't even realize I knew that much, and then I got the soft boxes and I was just like, oh, look at this. And then the first season was filmed in light-wise with just a fluorescent overhead and my desk lamp, which I bought a special light bulb for. That was it. And then, so when I filmed, I would check my levels, check the lighting, and then get my script, put it out of frame with my slate, and then I would sit, talk to the camera, and then reach over, grab my script or my slate as needed, and that's how I acted, directed, and did all of that at the same time.
Yeah, because your show is very close to being a one-woman show.
It basically, the only crew I had were, I just needed other faces to be in the show.
Yeah, if you didn't have other characters, it would probably be a one-woman show.
It would have been, yeah.
Yeah.
And if I had the resources to have a really nice, solid crew, I would have. But you know what? I did what I could.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like, I'm here talking about like you need to have a crew. As Daisy just pointed out, you don't have to. It'll definitely make your life easier.
It's preferable, not impossible. Like, it's not. You can do it by yourself. You can. It's going to be tough, but you can.
Yeah, like, I was going to say, when I did Blair Goddess Project with Nicole, she did everything. And then just casually, like, me and Megan, whenever we were acting, we would, like, sometimes, like, hold a light or, like, hold the boom mic. Like, if you have nice actors who also are, like, capable of holding things, like, those are great. But yeah, it's definitely possible to do all of it by yourself.
Yep. As long as you are organized and you make sure that you have what you need, you have the film that you need, then you can basically do it yourself, as long as it's not too complex. Like, we didn't have any exterior scenes, we didn't have any crowd scenes.
Good.
And I planned it that way because I knew it was just going to be by myself.
Yeah.
Like, crowd scenes, party scenes?
Yes.
No.
Write what you can film
Yes.
what you have written.
Yeah, know your limits.
Yes.
If you know it's going to basically be just you the entire time, go vlog style. Because it's nice that you don't have to have someone behind the camera if it's vlog style. It's good to have someone behind the camera if it's vlog style. But, yeah, like, just as an example. Like, if you know it's almost all going to be you, just go vlog style. Don't be trying to do traditional.
Oh goodness, no. No, don't go
Because-
traditional your first one off.
Yeah.
It's so different.
Well, if someone has experience like making short films and
Yes,
stuff.
yes. If you have that experience, please. But if this is your first
Like
time picking
vlog
up a
style.
camera,
Like it's like taking a selfie but in video form, so everyone can do it.
yeah. The thing that I'm writing right now is somewhat vlog style, somewhat not. I'm very much in pre-production for it, in as much as the script is basically written. And right now, my pre-production is just trying to convince my brother to act in it. But basically, most of it is just, okay, how am I going to structure this so that there are no plot holes, there are no, okay, who's filming this, why is this video being made, and that's stuff that I probably should have addressed during writing, but here we are.
I'm doing pre-production for, like, light pre-production for a web series I'm doing in, hopefully later this year, but I'm still in the process of writing it. But the problem I'm having with it is locations, and that's something that's super important for pre-production, is like whether you need permission for locations and whether it's a public place. So like, I live in New York now. New York is pretty weird. Like, within the city you can film things without a permit if you're only using like a camera and a boom mic, but any extra equipment other than like a hold it yourself reflector, you have to have a permit for. So it's very like, am I like following the rules, or am I going to get fined like hundreds of dollars?
Yeah, so let's talk, going off of that, let's talk some like finding locations, making sure that you're covered. So like Jen said, like you need to check the laws in your particular area. It's different all over. It's going to depend on where you're filming. Some places are much more lax than others. Like Florida, most of Florida is pretty lax with filming because they're trying to get, Florida wants to have a film industry.
Yeah, same with Georgia, because I'm not sure if you heard, but a certain Marvel movie was filmed there, and I couldn't move into my dorm because Oprah was filming in my dorm
That's awesome.
floor. So yeah, it's pretty neat. But yeah, Georgia's whole thing is, oh, everybody needs to come see how beautiful our state is, and so please, show everyone. And which is great until like I can't get into class because Tyler Perry is filming.
That's so interesting.
Right in front of it.
I've had to like walk weird ways to work because people are filming in New York, but it hasn't like directly inhibited my life yet.
I think it's also important to note that also, because I'm assuming the person, because most web series creators are college students. Not all of them, but I think the vast majority of them are in college, at least the ones in kind of the circles I travel in, is the rules for filming in your college are probably going to be very different. And sometimes you might just ignore the rules and cross your fingers and hope your college never discovers the thing that you made and sues you. Yeah, I'm not talking from experience
well, someone who went to the
whatsoever.
same school as Sarah, it's possible to get permission for things.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like a lengthy process, but basically if you want to submit things to like festivals and stuff, it's always helpful to have those, because sometimes they will ask like, do you have like the proper paperwork for this? So it's always like better safe than sorry in this case. I'm usually a ask for forgiveness instead of permission person, but not when it comes to like permission forms.
Yeah, no, it was, I think we looked into it, and it was basically like the sheer amount of hoops that we were going to have to jump through to be able to film in the dorm room for Taj Wash. It was just like, because we were filming, it wasn't like, because we were filming so much in the dorm, like we were filming across multiple days, like we couldn't get permission for just like once. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was a thing. But yeah, no, what Jen said, if you're planning on trying to win any sorts of awards, submit to any sorts of festivals, possibly qualify for the Oscar for short films, which, as I've discussed in a previous episode, is much easier than I think anyone ever thinks that it is. Yeah, so definitely if you're going to be trying to get basically, if you're going to try to earn any sort of recognition or money, you got to have all of your ducks in a row, because if you start getting recognition and or money and someone goes, hey, that's my house, you didn't get their permission in writing or whatever, yeah, they could have a case to sue you.
If you're out in public, I think, if you're in front of a store or whatever, maybe just pop in and say, hey, is it okay if we film this, whatever? I don't know. I can't really speak well on this fact. Yeah, my school's always just been, you're filming? Oh my goodness, that's so neat, because it's a tiny college and everybody
That's adorable.
just wants to be.
Aww.
Everybody just wants them to know about our school. That describes the school. It's adorable.
Yeah, definitely if you're using places as locations, even if you're in public, clear it with them in advance. And then again, get it all in writing. There's plenty, if you go online and you Google, you can find actors' permission forms. You can find location permission forms. Get one of those, adjust it to your project as fits, and then get all those signed off and have all of those, backed up, have paper copies, have backed up copies of all of that. That way, because it would be honestly, it would be the worst thing in the world if, just as an example, an actor came to you down the road and was like, I'm not comfortable having this on the internet anymore for whatever reason.
I did a movie where the actor was like, I don't want any of my friends or family to see this. So if you could just not tag me in anything, that would be great. And we didn't. He didn't mind that it was on the internet. He just didn't want his parents to see it. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I have your permission, in writing. I can work with this. But that's a special case. Most people aren't usually like that.
My brother, since he's being kind of trepidatious about this whole thing, the only reason is because he doesn't want his classmates to see it. And I'm like, okay. On the other hand, what are you planning on majoring in? And he goes, media production. He's doing this to bolster his acting resume. I'm like, look, there is nothing that would make you look better than to be in a series, regardless of who makes it, regardless if it's your big sister, A resume entry is a resume entry.
You can put it in a reel, come on, dude.
Yeah, get that leg
I'm not
up.
saying take advantage of people
Get your
who
foot
need,
in the door.
real material, but, you should definitely just nudge your way in there, because it's great for you, it's great for them, everybody wins in the end. They may not see it that way at first, but it will help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll talk about this a little bit in casting, I think, about, rewarding actors and getting their permission and stuff. So going back to locations, because we got away from that a little bit. So as you can probably tell from Taj Watch, we use Jeff Mendel's house a lot. But that's a really special case of someone who is heavily involved in the acting community in Tallahassee and is basically just so long as you ask permission, you can use my house for whatever. I'm cool with it. So you might get lucky enough, if you're involved enough in your acting community and to find the person that's just yeah, you can use my house whenever. Or, just check in with your actors and be like, hey, I need an apartment for this scene. Would you mind using yours? Especially since it's supposed to be your character's bedroom. Just ask permission. Don't assume. We rented out for Taj Watch. We rented out an Airbnb once. That's definitely an option these days. It's it's money, and it can be, depending on where you are, it can be more money than you might be willing to, than you might not have the budget for. That's totally a thing. But now it would be so easy to just go on Airbnb and just be like, hey, I need a film location. Looked at pictures of your house. I really like it. Would you mind if I rented out your house for a day and filmed in it? As for public places, again, check the laws. This more goes along lines for filming, but if you're filming in a public place, put up signs everywhere. Depending on what you're filming, you might want to alert your local police station. Because you can't control the public, and if someone sees you pull out a gun, yeah, I can't remember. We're filming these all out of order, and I can't remember when we filmed the filming episode if we talked about contacting.
Oh, I was going to say, if you're using weaponry, you definitely have to contact them.
So that's important, kids.
You're definitely supposed to, anyway.
Yeah. Well, this is pre-production. Yeah. Yeah, don't take that chance, especially concerning current political climates. Do not take that chance. But yeah, so...
Bottom line, you can't have too much organization. You can't have too much permission.
Organization.
But going off of that, something I have on my outline that I haven't for this episode, because outline everything, guys, that we haven't had a chance to talk about that is equipment to acquire. This is what I wrote. I wrote acquire. Basically, learning things from your the big budget productions. You don't have to purchase equipment. You can if you want to. Daisy, I think, mentioned that you said you checked out equipment from your school.
Yeah, I just showed up and I said, you film promotional stuff. Can I use it? And they were like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And some of this we talk a little bit about, I think, in our filming episode, about like stuff that you'll need for filming. So I won't go over that just now. But just kind of talking about how to acquire that equipment. If you want to buy yourself a good DSLR camera, because you know you're going to be doing multiple productions, or you know that you just want to have one, and you know that you have the money for it, go for it. But you can definitely rent. You can definitely find places that'll let you rent cameras, or, borrow them. I'm not so certain as into how to do some of those things. I will admit that. I've gotten pretty lucky with being around people that happen to have cameras and are cool with using them, or are cool with being part of the productions. I'm also lucky that Shannon's family works pretty heavily in the media industry, and so she's gotten some hand-me-downs. So I wouldn't know particularly about renting. But I will say I have read The Disaster Artist, which is about the making of the incredible film The Room. And one of the big things about that production is Tommy Wiseau purchased all of the equipment instead of renting it, which is what all the big Hollywood productions do.
Was there any justification in that article?
Read The Disaster Artist, Jen, and then watch the movie that's coming out about the making of The Room.
They're making a movie about
I
it.
forgot about that.
Yes.
They're making a documentary about The Room.
No, it's not a documentary. It's an adaptation of the book The Disaster Artist that one of the actors in the film wrote.
I am so
about
here
the making of The Room
for this.
And James Franco is playing Tommy Wiseau.
I could see it.
Yeah, like 100%.
Anyway, I'm excited for that film. It's going to be good.
Oh, boy.
Or even if it's not good, it's going to be
Can
great.
I plug soft boxes? Because I think that it instantly lifts your show, like, boom. Like, when I set that up for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, my cast is going to look like supermodels.
Yes.
It's worth it.
Don't be Taj Watch. Don't be yellow.
It is worth the money to buy a softbox. It costs as much as it would to, rent a really, really fancy camera. It does not cost as much as you think. You don't need two. I used one. You don't need two.
Mm-hmm.
And then, even if you can't get that, I don't care what lamps you have, what lights you have. If you have something that casts a nice white broad light with a diffuser on it, for example, a desk lamp, you got 3 of those, set those up, and boom, you've got a well-lit show. Like, don't be afraid to DIY it.
Oh, yeah, not at all.
And there's so many YouTube videos and, like, tutorials and, like, if you're just, like, how can I make this look better? You do your research.
Yeah, like,
Find
even
out
if you can't afford, like, an alternate to a softbox, it's like, I don't know if they're actually called China balls, but that's always what I've heard them referred as. But those only cost like a couple bucks, and you throw a lamp inside, and you get the same like nice glow.
Mm-hmm.
But even like a lighting kit, we just purchased one off of Amazon. It wasn't like, it didn't break the bank, and it's like basically just light your shots, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that the biggest return on investment, equipment-wise, is lighting, and I think it's the undersung hero in shows, honestly.
Can you guys think of any other pre-production things that should be covered in this episode?
Is props a big deal? Do we care a lot about props?
Yeah, where's your line between production and pre-production, Sarah?
I guess technically production is, to me, it's filming.
Yeah.
Like, basically, from the time that you're like, okay, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do the thing. Pre-production is preparing to do the thing.
So you're like just jumping in, like, not any of the foresight before it. So like props would be this episode sort of thing, like props, costume, like design.
I guess acquiring props, acquiring costumes would fit into pre-production.
Did somebody say costumes?
But costumes for web series is generally like giving your actors an idea of what to show up in. There's generally not a wardrobe.
Yep, generally.
Generally.
I will say that one of my little columns on my master checklist was, what is each character wearing, and what I would send. Mainly it was mostly my character that I had direct a message I wanted to say with the costumes each ways. But if I were to do my show over again, I would have email conversations like, okay, could you have something that would send this message? Do you have something in this color? You know, I wish I did that more.
Hamlet, we planned all the outfits out ahead of time, and I did plan out all the makeup ahead of time.
And it was
I did makeup
beautiful.
for Hamlet. But that was because, and that was just for Shannon, though I also planned makeup out for Alex Elliott, because I also did his makeup. But again, that was just because of the style of the show. It really served the message, yeah. Yeah, because Shannon is not a Gosling. And Elliot does not cover himself in glitter on a daily basis. As far as I know.
I mean, everyone really should, though. Glitter is great.
Everyone should. Everybody just dump themselves.
You never get rid of it.
I covered that boy. It was good times.
It's the herpes of craft supplies.
Good times. I still have my glitter, so if and when you guys come and visit me, I will cover you if
glitter
you want.
Party.
Oh boy, I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the I really probably put way too much effort into the wardrobe of my show, as I probably should have. But you know what? There's no such thing as too much effort.
No, and you know, if there's a specific style that you want the show to have too, like that's like with Hamlet, where we wanted specifically Hamlet to have a goth vibe.
Yeah.
In all of their outfits. So, I mean, you know your show. Like Taj Wash, we did some outfit planning just to make sure that they weren't, make sure that you don't have too much repetition, especially since web series are filming over a much longer span of time than most of their film projects. This is again like kind of a during filming thing, but take pictures of your actors to make sure you're keeping up continuity.
Yes.
Kind of going off of that, props. I think, make a big list. Again, going from your outline, include what props you need for each episode in your outline. See what you have on hand. See what you can source from others, and then what you can't, just hit up Amazon or hit up your local thrift store to find.
Or like, I went to Dollar Tree so much when I was filming Notes by Christine, and I still have a lot of it. Dollar Tree was my jam back in the day. It's not anymore because I can't find one in New York that's, like, accessible, but that's okay.
There's so much stuff at Dollar Tree that you don't even think it's at Dollar Tree. And it's like, and it's all $1 and plus tax. It's just like, so I'd say check there, you know, like, hopefully when writing, again, this kind of goes back to, you know, planning what's within your means. You know, when you're looking at your list of props, you're not going to go write up anything that it's like, it's going to be really hard to find.
Yeah, make sure that you are writing what is accessible, and if it's not accessible, that it's possible to write it out.
Write it out or find something to exchange out. Because right now I'm looking at, like, our living room, and we have a Monopoly board and Cards Against Humanity right next to each other. And so I was just, like, thinking to myself, like, you might write Cards Against Humanity into, like, an episode. And Cards Against Humanity is expensive. But you might be able to find someone who has a Cards Against Humanity deck, or you might be able to go pick up a Monopoly and be like, okay, instead of playing Cards Against Humanity, we're going to play Monopoly. It won't be as funny, but all of our characters will kill each other just the same.
Yeah, that happened a lot when I was filming, is we'd be filming something, and they'd be like, hang on, we're supposed to have a framed picture? And I'm like, this is 2017. I'm a college sophomore. I don't have framed pictures. So I was like, okay, no, now that's a book. And so instead, Ellen threw down a copy of David Sedaris' Barrel Fever. And sometimes it's just stupid stuff like, in the original play of Play Spirit, the seance could only be performed if there was salt on the table. And I'm like, no, I don't have a salt shaker. And so I was just like, okay, I'll just use Funyuns, because that was in a previous episode, be a funny little tie-in. Cue me going to the dining hall on Friday afternoon, and they're out of Funyuns.
Oh, no!
So instead, I just got Fritos, and now it's Fritos.
I love it. I love it. See, people who have never made a web series before, this is the kind of thing that's going to happen to you.
And it's...
while you're filming.
You just have to be really versatile.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yes.
But it's better it be Fritos instead of Funyuns than an actor dropping out.
Yeah.
We'll talk about actors in another episode and how great they are. How much we love our actors. I genuinely love almost all of our actors.
Shout out to my cast for being the best.
I'm glad.
They're all Agnes Scott students, except for the girl who played Violet, who applied to Agnes and showed up at a prospective weekend, and she's like, hey, I know this place. I was like, hey. So it turned out to be an all Agnes Scott production.
Nice.
Aww.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we talked about other stuff, but once again, is there anything we can think of that should be included in an episode about pre-production?
I want to say that pre-production is like because we keep like delving into diving and like also a little bit into the like production aspect, but really you like pre-production spans all of that. Like you can't, if you don't do pre-production, like you don't have a product, like you can't do it. So just like, I think people don't think enough about pre-production and how much you actually have to do before you start filming. Like it's not enough that you have a script. You have to go in and be like, okay, break it down. This is everything you need. And like, it doesn't stop like once you get on set. Like you're still working. Like producers do things throughout the entire process. And I think people forget that a lot. They're like, okay, we're filming now. We're done with that. Like, nope, you gotta keep updating it. You have to keep up with it. Especially if you're running a series that runs for a long time. Like, you are constantly doing pre-production. It basically never ends until your show is over.
Oh, Lord, no. Yeah, you constantly are tweaking, like, little prop lists. You're changing your Funyuns to Fritos. You are going through and saying, oh, you know what? I think that this episode should be 2 episodes. Now looking at the full calendar. Or stuff like that. You have to constantly be on your toes. Pre-production is pre and during production, basically. Mm-hmm. And a little bit post.
It's a little less during post,
Yes, yes.
but it's because post is mostly just
Getting it out there.
fixing. Yeah, it's just like making it look pretty.
It's all just a blur for me because, I did it. It all just kind of happened. I have no... it's all just one big blur. But it's possible. I proved that you can do it. So you should do it, and then send me a link so I can watch it.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate talking to you. And I appreciate the listeners for listening. Yeah. So,
Yay.
yeah, we're almost done since we're recording these out of order, as I think I say in every single episode of this show. Because I planned originally to record them in order, and that went to fucking hell.
It's okay. There's one thing we've learned.
This is the halfway point.
Oh, yeah.
You're the 5th episode I've recorded. So that's pretty nice.
That's pretty exciting. It's so exciting to be a part of this, and oh boy, I'm so happy.
Yep. Yeah, so Jen, you're done.
I'm not.
Bye.
Yeah, I got one more with Daisy.
Are they going to hear me again, or have they already heard me and I'm speaking from the future?
This is episode 2, so this is the first time they're hearing you guys.
My dulcet tones.
Once again, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Alrighty. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.